looks horrible. I don't have storage on my phone, so I have to do this through live, and the camera on my live is not good at all, but we're gonna follow through. Okay, so what it is, you guys, it is your girl Kadlac. Yes, I'm Kadlac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life Prison Wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping to see justice before all fades to black. Yes, it's your girl Kadlac. Anyways, I am coming through today on September the 18th, yes, 2023. I'm about to head into the library shortly, and I'm gonna just work. Mondays, I get out the house. This is my last day off of the week. I'm usually off on Mondays, but through the week, when you're just working to live and living to work, hustling hard until it hurts, working your fingers down to the bone. And then once you come home, ain't nothing, I'm sorry, and once you pay your bills, ain't nothing to come home with. Girl, I messed up. But I said the correct thing though. Once you pay your bills, ain't nothing to come home with. So really, all actuality, we are just working to pay bills. And now it's to a point where we're working to not even be able to pay all the bills, just to pay a portion of the bills. Once you start working and literally you bringing nothing home, you're basically working for nothing. So now we're in a time in life where we're working for no reason. Honestly, you either could work and just have your bills paid, break even, possibly. That would be a plus if you could break even, or you just not working and you're not tired and you still ain't got nothing. So, what's the difference in this season? There is no real purpose behind all that working now. That time is behind us now, where hard work got us somewhere. So I get to my second day off, which throughout the week I don't get anything done. Everything goes on the back burner. Work will make you forget the rest of your life, whether you want to or not, because you ain't got no time hardly in between work. And when you do get off, you're tired as jail and you still don't get nothing done. So work is going to be your first priority, whether you want it to be or not. So then when I am off on Sunday, I made it through a work week. Now I'm off on Sunday, but Sunday I usually hang out with the kids. So I went to the farmers market with the kids. I try not to overwhelm myself too much from on Sundays because I overwhelm myself all week trying to get stuff done and don't get it all the way done, right? So then Sunday I need at least one freaking day of rest. I used to not even take Sundays off to rest, but now I need at least one day. So I rest on my Sunday, and I know businesses and stuff are not open, so it's no phone calls and things I would need to be sending. So I kind of push everything off to Monday. So now today is the dreadful Monday that I have to go in and formulate a second dispute letter for the apartment complex. Y'all know the story that I have one. I can try to find it. It's a long live girl, but if you here for it, then you here for it. So I'll try to put that in the description box of how the apartment complex is now, because we are in a recession, depression, ain't got no goddamn money. They see they have the upper hand, so they are making, you pay for it. They're making us, the tenants, pay for this whole mess that's going on. So upon moving out, they served me with a deposition saying I owe them about almost $5,000, and I'm like, for what? For what? For what? Charging me 2,000 something dollars, they say, for lost rent, because I moved out there at the end of my lease. Like, that is so stupid. You sign a lease. Why do I have to even, okay, I understand it's by law. We love to go by the law and stuff like that. But why is it my responsibility? I'm coming up to the end of my lease. You either know I'm staying or I'm going. And if I haven't given you no word that I'm staying, what's the other option? I'm going. And the way that apartment hunting is in Orlando, girl, you can fill that apartment very easily, very easily. So there's no need for that. I would have liked to give them 60 days notice if I could have, but I did not plan a, a shutdown of 2020. I did not make all the rent go up sky high. I did not make all the waiting lists 2 years long in Orlando, Florida. So there was no way. I prepared since the year before to try to move at the end of my lease, and things beyond my control did not fall in place. I did not receive, and it was by the grace of God, an apartment to not even move straight into. I'm in between waiting for my apartment. But this was the first available apartment because everything is like 2 years off, right? So I didn't receive that I could move into that until 15 days after I would have been able to give their 60-day notice. So I gave them 45 days notice. That is still ample. If you're being realistic in this world, that's way more than enough time for them to have filled that apartment. And I know they filled that apartment, girl. But yet they claim I made them lose money. And then also, they're charging me 1,500 for not giving the 60-day notice. So it seems like I'm really being charged for the same situation. You know, like how I talk about Marcello, one instance happening, and they charge you all these different charges for the one issue that happened. And in Marcello's case, it never freaking darn happened, but they try to pull as many charges out as they can to stick you with. That's what they're doing here. How is 1,500 for not giving you the 60-day notice? Okay, you charged me for that, right? That's a lot of money, but I possibly could pay back 1,500. We break it down into a payment program. It's gonna f up my whole year, honestly, because I barely make any money, but I could pay that possibly. But then you turn around again and charge me for, you say, lost rent by not renewing the lease. So I disputed it on my own. I did reach out to a society that helps income people with legal um, things, but they basically just siding with the they're just siding with the apartment complex, saying yeah they could charge you for that, and then they're charging me. They made sure they took my deposit by charging me things that were already covered under wear and tear. You know, when one occupant moves out, and I lived there for 3 years. When one occupant moves out, you're gonna have to fix things like carpet. You're gonna have to clean that carpet. You're going to have to repaint the walls. So there's gonna be smudge prints. Y'all know they put that chalky paint on them apartment walls that picks up every fingerprint. If you have kids, I always have my niece and nephew. I'm sorry, my nephew is over there. So I mean, what do you expect? As long as I had not damaged their property, that is where you charge wear and tear. And I have a rental history immaculate since 2010, and now I'm gonna be. Oh, they calls me to get my first ever late rent. They do whatever they want to. There was this place is the only place that I've ever seen where they do a when you get pre-approved to move in, they do this every year, right? The pre-approved situation. So I still had time to do mine, and it said as long as you started yours before a certain date. I started mine, but I didn't complete it. But I did start it before the certain date. What they did was turn off my portal where I could not pay online for my rent. I could not. I used to be able to go to Walmart and pay my rent through something called Whips. They shut that off and would not allow me. They blocked all ways that I could pay my rent. And then it caused me to get a late fee because that was on the weekend. There was no one I can get in touch with. So I could not pay my rent until the office opened on that Monday. And I said, y'all sent me a notice with this date on it, and the date had not passed. How can you close the portal early? How you know I wasn't going to do it on the last day? Because that last day to complete it was on a Saturday. I work all throughout out the week, like nonstop. Like I was going to address it that Saturday morning, but they shut it off, and I still had days left. And it caused me to get a late fee on that approval thing, and they closed my portal, so it caused me to get my first and only late fee in my rental history. So apartments are doing what the heck they want to do, like, and it's not fair. But guess what? Poor people do not get justice. Very rarely do poor people get justice. Um, only way you're gonna get justice, you gotta go pay somebody to get you justice. So that means justice is not free, right? So I myself just went through and disputed each thing, giving why I feel like I don't owe this ish, like bogusly. They're really just trying to ramp up, make you pay for the next person to move in, but they already have to do that. So that's just making that all free for them, right? So now they can use that money somewhere else. That's what they're doing. And did not realize that I had a family member, and there are other people that live in that same neighborhood, and they can vouch for what they are doing. They didn't realize when you're doing justice, you think you're just doing it to that one person. You know you're doing injustice to several people, but you don't never think that the people know each other and can, come against you. So I disputed the first letter just by myself, and not really by myself. Grace of God. God led me in how to dispute that. Then they came back, said I owe 2,600. I'm like, okay, great, but what for what? What made you cut this in half? So I'm gonna go back again and dispute this 2,600. Y'all know it's super duper duper duperty hard for me to type. I have carpal tunnel. I, my back been hurting me all since yesterday. I have all these herniated discs, um, sciatica. I have nerve damage. I have arthritis. All of this going on. So I cannot type. It's gonna take me all day to type. So I am going to spent all day at this library trying to type up this letter. But I had a story time, but God, it's getting hot in this car. Hold on. I'm sorry. So my story time was about Saturday before I had to go to work. And I take my time like so seriously. My time means so much to me. Time is so precious. Time is irreplaceable. It's a commodity that you cannot replace. When you waste somebody's time, when you take somebody's time, you can't give it back. There's nothing you can do to make it right when you take somebody's time, basically. Just like all the stolen time out of Marcello's life, having him wrongfully incarcerated, convicted, like you can't replace that. You can't give our family that back. You can't give Marcello his life back. You can't make him young again, let him have his 20s and his 30s. You can't give him back all those milestones he's missed with our daughter, from kindergarten to college graduation to our granddaughter's first year. You can't give that back, right? You stole it. You took it. Nothing you can do to replace it. So for me, time is so utterly important. And especially because I feel like I'm so behind in my life, I feel like I'm using every moment to catch up. So before I leave my house, I always strategically plan my day. So I was around the house, I was going to do a video, but my tablet was acting crazy. It would not download the videos I needed for TikTok. It just kept crashing. So I was kind of doing a little cleaning, and it had hit the 3 o'clock hour. Now they have a Halloween event that is at our theme park, and I know that I have to leave early for work to be able to get there in time with all the traffic that's going to be coming in for that Halloween event. So as I'm cleaning up, I have a family member come out and say, "Can you go to run to Sam's to go get us some pizza and to pick up. It was like a rotisserie chicken or something like that. It was something that probably would take maybe 30 minutes to do. I left at the 3 o'clock hour. I know for me to be to work on time, I have got to leave maybe about 4:15 from the house. Usually I leave 30 minutes ahead of time, but now because the traffic is heavier, I know I really cannot, leave no later than 30 minutes. 45 minutes now. So I really didn't, I don't like to do things right before work because they always seem to just take longer for no damn reason, only the reason to make me late, right? But this shouldn't have taken more than 30 minutes. So I'm like, oh, I need gas as well. So I was like, I'll stop by the Sam's gas station. So I had already planned in my mind that, I know the little cafe area where they sell the pizzas the line can get kind of long and you gotta wait, which I had no problem with waiting. So I was like, let me order the pizza first. That way I can go and get my gas. Once I wait through the long line at the gas station at Sam's, get my gas, then I can come in, grab the chicken that I needed, and then pick up my pizza. So I get in line. The line is long. Well, no, it's about 3 or 4 people, but it's moving really slowly. So conveniently, they take everybody in the line, just stops at me. So I'm just standing there. The cashier is basically there's another line where once you order they hand you out the food. So she's handing out the food, and I understand now that we are going through what we're going through. Ever since 2020 it became where job positions are gone, and now you're doing possibly the work of two and three individuals when it used to be a whole job code for that one thing. So I'm sure they usually have somebody that passes out the food and then a cashier that's separate or whatever. So they're double timing it, having her do both things. So I'm just patiently waiting. I understand that. I get that. I'd go through that in my job. But finally, I'm like, hold on, it's been 15 minutes and I'm just still standing here, not even placing my order, right? And I got to get out of here. Now, that notion that I would be to Sam's and back within 30 minutes, that was out the window because now I had already lost 15 minutes behind just standing in a line and not even being addressed. So then I say, excuse me, as the lady is making the orders for the people that are in line that had already placed their orders. I'm like, excuse me, are you going to take any more orders? And she's like, yeah, yeah. Okay, and then she continues doing whatever she's doing. And I said, oh, the only reason I say that is because I'm going to order two pizzas and I know they have to go through the oven and they usually take about 20 minutes to cook. So if I could just place my order, then you could already have it in queue line to cook it. So I'm thinking after maybe, a couple more minutes, she would come over and take my order. She turns around to the lady in the back that I guess is making the food, or I don't know what she's doing, food prep, whatever she's doing behind that counter. And she's like, two pizzas, how long is that going to take? So the lady says 45 minutes. And I'm looking at it, it's 3:15 now. And I'm like, oh, okay. I literally could wait 45 minutes. I have exactly 45 minutes. So as long as I can place my order, I can go get my gas still. I can go get the chicken, and I still can be back to the house to put on my uniform. Now I'm going to be in rush mode, but I can still get it done. Okay, so the lady says about 45 minutes. So I said, oh, okay, I can wait. Now I know from their reaction, the 45 minutes was supposed to detour me. I didn't know that at first, but you can see by the way they were like, that I was supposed to say, oh, okay, that's all right when they said 45 minutes. So I said, all right, that's fine. I'll just, as long as I can just place my order. So the lady that was doing the register went back to just filling orders, and it had been another 5 to 7 more minutes. And I'm like, you know what? At this point, let me just go ahead, and because now it's 3:20 something going on 3:30. I'm not going to have enough time to wait on this pizza, and I'm also not going to have time to pick up the other stuff I needed to, or even get gas. Gas is out the gas is out the question now, because that was a time consuming thing in itself. So I usually don't like report bad behavior of people that's working, because I honestly do understand it. I get where you're coming from. I know you feel shorthanded. You feel like you're doing way more work than you should be doing. But the thing is, when we work in these positions, that happens to me all the time. Me being the worker, I just do a whole bunch of goddamn work. The mentality that they take on is, if you don't want to work, if we have a generation that tell people, "Oh, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. That ain't in my job code. I ain't gonna do that." Or you got people that come to work, stand, talk, chat, and get paid for it. So what happens? We work in a team setting. So when you are lacking, the team looks as though they're not, you know, being up to par. So what'll happen is I have to pick up more slack, do more. When you don't tell people, "Oh, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that," you just end up with more work on your plate. And that other person is still able to slack off, and they still take their whole check home. So it's not like when I pick up your slack, I get some of your check. No, I don't. I get my same old check that barely pays my bills. Don't even pays a portion of my bills, right? And I'm disabled, so it's very hard for me to work. Like, you could probably do the same job as me and not be in as much utter pain as I am when I get off of work. So not only am I, like, literally, I'm sacrificing my health as well to keep going to work for a portion of pay. So I do get it. I understand. We see this line is long. Clearly, there should have been somebody else over here helping you. But you know who you don't take that out on? You don't take that out on me. That has nothing to do with me. I literally, if all those guests left, all those customers left, they would be asking you to go home because it's slow, which would mean you wouldn't be getting your paycheck, most likely. That's how most companies are. They go with the flow of business. So if I was not here and everyone else was not here, then you would not be here, basically. So I feel like the way that she, and what I explained to the because it takes me a lot to get mad, but I don't like to be mistreated. Like, I don't like to be treated like I'm less than. I don't like to be blown up at, and I ain't did nothing to you. Like, for real, I literally did nothing to you. So I explained to the manager, I was like, I just don't like being treated like that. Like, honestly, what she should have done is, in the first place, when she walked away from the register, she should have said, "Ma'am, I got to hand out a few of these orders because the orders are getting backed up. Just give me a few moments and I'll be right back to you." That's what she should have did. She shouldn't have just walked off from my presence, ain't said nothing, act like I'm invisible, like, "Oh, whatever, she here waiting because I'm working over." That's not the way that you treat your guests. You should have addressed me. She should have said something. She should have acknowledged that I was there. And then, even after I asked, "Am I going to be able to place my order?" You should have, rather than getting upset because I want to place my order, you already wasted 20 of my minutes just standing there patiently. And I know I got more patience than the next, because somebody would have been went off on them. Been went off on them. Let it been not me, but somebody else. They would have been went off on them. So I was like, that's not the way to treat customers. I even worked at a super center, which is kind of the sister brother of Sam's Club. I worked there, like, and our manager used to get on us, if even if we are swamped, we had to have that customer service. That's one of the one things you get your butt ridden up over, bad customer service, because he's like, whether the customer is right or wrong, if you make them mad, they will not come back. And you know how much money you have cost me. And I even told the manager there, I was like, there's a 7-Eleven right across the street. I do not patronize there because of being mistreated one time. And she was like, "You don't come here all the time?" And I was like, "No." And I said, "Now I might as well drive on down to the next Sam's because I see this is how I'm going to be treated here." And she was attempting to go ahead and make the pizza for me and whatever. She tried to make it right. Like, it wasn't her. And she was like, I tell them all the time they can't be like that to the guests. So she said she's going to send another person over to help them. And I was like, yeah, it's just it's you could do anything, but it's the way that you do things. Like she could have just addressed me, give me the courtesy of, do I want to stand here 20 minutes and not be served, or do I want to go? Because I could have kept my 20 minutes and did everything else I needed to do. So in turn, I had no gas, and this is the ironic part. I couldn't make it nowhere else, so I had to get my gas at that 7-Eleven that I vowed I would not go back to because they disrespected me over. I got a story about that over using EBT. At the time, I had EBT. I don't have it now, but I was a struggling single mother. And I hate when you go in a store and they have all these sales flags up. And then when you get it, you pick it up only because you've seen the sign. And then when you get up front, they say, "Oh no, that sale is over. No, that wasn't on sale." And I'm like, so when I went to just get a Slim Jim for my daughter, and it clearly said this is the price, and she was like, "No, that's wrong." And I had got tired of that happening every time I come in that store. So I just simply asked, and I asked so nicely, "Can you go check it because I could show you the sign." They are really supposed to give you the stuff for what they advertise it for, whether it's in their system or not. They're supposed to give it to you for that price because you should not be advertising what you don't have on sale. So she was like, it's a whole story time. But in the end, she basically, when I asked for a manager and I asked to just get a refund, she, "I can't refund you. You used EBT. You used EBT." And being all loud in front of everybody. You won't 50 cent. This is about 50 cent. You won't 50 cent. I'm like, really? And I had vowed I would not go back to, and I was disrespected at Chick-fil-A too. That specific Chick-fil-A, I will not step foot into. That 7-Eleven, I had not been back there since that happened when Money was in high school. So Money is through college and everything. So I would say that probably was in like 2016 something. And I had not been back to that 7-Eleven. All right, guys. So I got to go ahead and put on my little lawyer hat. I'm not a lawyer, but we got to start learning these laws and regulations ourselves because as we see, lawyers are really only for rich people or wealthy people. They're not for us poor people. So we have to defend ourselves. All right, guys. With that said, I'm gonna go on in this library, and I will talk to you later. Hissy your girl Kadlac. Hand gone to bed, frozen solid. I'm holding this phone. Ugh.